In this video, sponsored by Audible, I'm going to tell you about what I'm hoping comes next for Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team. So since Kill Team came out just shy of a year ago, there has been a lot of stuff added on to it. There has been, there's the Commanders thing, there was before that there was the Rogue Trader set, but there was Commanders, Arena, and soon we're going to be seeing Elites, which is going to be adding new figures to it that are like between the Commanders and the regular normal kind of troop type folks that you've got in there. And that's all well and good. There's been tons of terrain, tons of different sets, and all kinds of stuff. There's just been a lot that's been released for Kill Team. But in all of that, there's something that for me that they've been missing. I'm going to go beyond that for right now and kind of circle back into what I think probably the next thing will actually be. It's not necessarily a thing for Kill Team that I'm personally interested in, and I'll get a little bit more into that, but it is what I probably see coming after Elites gets released in the next month or two or whenever it's supposed to come out. I think what's going to happen next is they're going to come out with another kind of two-player, like two-force battle set sort of thing, kind of like Rogue Trader. But if I had to guess, I would say it would be launched with the release of Plastic Sisters of Battle. So in my opinion, the next box set that we're going to see like that is going to be Sisters of Battle, and then it's going to be, well, who would Sisters fight? The post office? No, most likely not. Chaos Demons, which you currently can't play in Kill Team. Like, there's no Chaos Demons list. Nearly everything else is covered. You know, Space Marines and AdMac and Harlequins and every last little thing, nearly. Even now, Kroot have been released in a White Dwarf a couple months ago. But you can't play as demons, which is kind of a big army, so that's sort of interesting to me. And I do wonder if they held that back because they knew they were going to be releasing this box down the road once the Sisters got finished. But my thought process is the next box that's coming is going to probably be a two-force set with maybe some terrain, maybe a lot of terrain, maybe not. It's hard to say. A lot of people have complained because the original starter for Kill Team that had all that great terrain in it is out of print. And so maybe they will, as a kind of a, you know, here you go, is they'll release another big set like that that's roughly the same price, has both of the sets of models in it, you know, some Chaos Demons and some new Plastic Sisters, and then also has either the same terrain that they've released in the past or maybe some new stuff that they're going to add to the line. But I think that after Elites, that's probably the next thing that we're going to see. And like I said, whenever Sisters of Battle get released for the normal line is, I think, roughly when this will get released as well. However, like I've said, I'm not a big Sisters of Battle player. You know, I'm glad that they're making new ones, and that's really cool, but it's just never been my area of interest. And I've never been a big Demons player. Like, I like Chaos, but Chaos Demons get a little too weird and squishy for me. Like, I want to have a little bit of power armor in there with my Chaos, if you know what I mean. I don't know what I mean when I say that, but yeah, Demons have never been my thing. Sisters have never been my thing, but I know that that set would probably sell quite well, especially if it had a whole bunch of terrain in it again. And certainly those forces that could be released in there could then also just be used in normal 40K, especially the Sisters, because there's going to be a lot of people, I think, buying new Sisters armies once the new Plastic Sisters get released. So, you know, that's all cool. But again, this is not necessarily what I'm interested in. I'm interested in something that's a little different. A little while back, I did a video about old games and how it's great that we can kind of keep them alive through certain different ways. And I talked about 28 Magazine and Inquisitor and all this different kind of stuff. If you didn't get a chance, pachow, check it out. It's a fun video. And it really kind of got my juices flowing, and I started thinking about it, and I thought to myself, you know, it really sort of bothers me that I can't play an Inquisitorial warband in Kill Team. Like, why? They had Inquisitorial warbands in Shadow War Armageddon. You know, they released them. They weren't in the original box set, but they released PDFs, and then even in the expanded book that they produced, they had the Inquisitorial warbands in there. So I thought to myself, well, why aren't there Inquisitors in, you know, in this box set? It doesn't make any in the game in general. So that's when I started to think, well, maybe the box set that's coming out in the future, if there is one, which I suspect there will be, maybe it's not going to be Sisters at all. Maybe it's going to be Inquisitors versus chaos. But then I thought, but there aren't really much in the way of inquisitorial figures, especially in plastic right now. There's not a lot of Inquisitor stuff in plastic. You can get, Inquisitor Greyfax and there's a couple of little bits and pieces here and there, but there's not a lot. So I thought, it's probably still going to be Sisters versus Chaos Demons, in my opinion. So, why not some sort of just simple army list kind of a thing so that you can then start playing and building inquisitorial warbands? Now, as I mentioned a little bit ago, they recently released a Kroot kill team army list, whatever, in White Dwarf. I think it was maybe March. And in that, you can now play Kroot and run, Krootoxes and Kroot Hounds and regular Kroots and whatever, and all that kind of stuff, and build your own list and then play with Kroot and have them as a separate thing. And it's official because it's in White Dwarf. So I would really love it if they would hopefully put something like that in White Dwarf going forward. Just throw in a whole inquisitorial kind of section in there and say, look, this is how you, play an inquisitorial kill team in Kill Team. This is how you do it. Here's all the points and all that jazz. But they haven't done it yet. And sometimes I think that you have to be the change that you want to see in the world. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to become the change that I want to see in the world. And I have started to sit down and come up with an inquisitorial warband army list for Kill Team. Now, when I get it finished, which I hope to be quite soon, I'm just going to release it as a PDF, and I'll put it someplace and put links on all my social junk and probably make another video and all that jazz so that you can download it and try it out. I will probably beta test it with the irregulars, the Patreon folks that I work with. And I might spread it around a couple of little places here and there. And if all things go well, I will do a whole bunch of work, and then Games Workshop will just come out with the official one before I get mine finished, and then all my work will be for naught. So that could happen. It probably will, actually. But if it doesn't, I will hopefully at least release something that then they may eventually actually throw the real official thing out there. But we'll see. But I'm going to build it. I'm taking a look at a lot of different things. I'm taking a look at a bunch of the stuff that's already in Kill Team, obviously, for points and for stat values and things like that, and seeing how they relate. I'm also going back and looking at the old Shadow War Armageddon inquisitorial Kill Team kind of thing, trying to figure out what kind of stuff I want to take from there and whatnot. There are a lot of armies in Kill Team, like the Imperial Guard. They have their special kind of orders that they can do, which are kind of different than everybody else. The AdMech have the Canticles that are different than everybody else, and they can do a lot of stuff. So I'm going to probably decide to make it so that your Inquisitor can either be Malleus, Hereticus, or Xenos, and you will get some sort of benefits for that, depending, and hopefully they'll equal out. Playtesting, that kind of stuff, I'm going to be working with that as well, and then I think maybe when I launch it, maybe it'll be a beta, and then people can kind of chew on it and playtest it and try it out, and then maybe I'll make an update after that. But I think that it's going to be fun because I've never written any kind of miniatures rules before. Not that this is really writing rules, it's just basically writing some stats that you can then hopefully build an army list out of, and it's not too out of whack. But I'm really looking forward to trying it because I really, really want to build inquisitorial warbands, and I want to build them for Kill Team. Kill Team's the game I play the most these days, and so that's why I really want to be able to make some really interesting stuff and then use it in Kill Team, as opposed to just making some really interesting stuff and then, I don't know, sitting on it, maybe taking some pictures or whatever. I want to be able to actually get it out on the table. So that's what my plan is. I'm going to be doing an inquisitorial warband Kill Team list, and then we'll see how it all works out. But hopefully, either they'll actually drop one into White Dwarf before I get mine done, which could happen. I mean, they might already have it ready to go. It might be in next month. I don't know. But the fact that I'm actually going to sit down and try and do the work means that it's more likely to actually happen, that they will actually do it before I do. But I'm not saying that I'm forcing their hand. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying the way that universal luck sort of goes. Like, you spend a bunch of time working on something and then all of a sudden, like that. And then the company was like, oh yeah, no, we did that like 6 months ago. We were just waiting for the right slot to drop it into the magazine. And then I'd be like, oh, cool. I guess I could have just waited 2 more months and I would have been fine. But, if I didn't actually sit down and do the work, then maybe the whole universal luck thing wouldn't cause them to actually create this. So that's what I'm trying to do. It's kind of like when you buy a snowblower. You buy a new house and you buy a snowblower and then the whole winter it doesn't snow. Kind of like that. Do you need things to listen to while you're painting and modeling in your hobby area, wherever it might be? Do you need something to kind of distract your mind. Some people like to use music. Some people like to use podcasts. I like to use podcasts, but I really, really like to use audiobooks. And today's sponsor is Audible, which are basically the number one folks in audiobooks. And they've got a special 30-day trial for Tabletop Minions viewers. So you can hop on there, 30-day trial, you get a free book, and then you get to keep that book, even if you decide after the 30-day trial not to keep moving on. The books are some of the best out there, you know, all the big sellers, all the big stuff, and they keep adding more and more. And now there's Games Workshop books, Black Library, which didn't used to be the case, but now you can go through, like, the next Black Library book that I'm listening to is actually, I'm going to be starting the Horus Heresy, which I've read a whole bunch of, you know, on paper, like a caveman. But now I'm going to be listening to the Horus Heresy books as I'm working on, frankly, non-Horus Heresy models, probably normal 40K stuff. But it's something that you can just put on and listen to while you are building, painting, any of those kind of things. You can get it for iOS, you can get it for Android, you probably can get it for Kindle, I'll bet. You might be able to get it on Linux, you could get it on, it goes on just about everything. And like I said, so many different books for you to choose from. I just looked, actually, over 180,000 titles. And if you sign up with Audible, like I said, through this link down here below, which is audibletrial.com/tabletopminions, it's also in the description, you will get a 30-day free trial with Audible and a free book of your choosing. And you can then keep that book, even if you don't keep the whole 30 days, you know, or the whole, you know, keep it going on. I've been an Audible member for, man, a good long time, at least 3 years. And it's what really allows me to be able to sit in my little hobby space and work on my models and just listen to stories about all kinds of different things. And sometimes even, like, you know, informational, educational stuff too. So if you're interested, go and check the link down in the description, audibletrial.com/tabletopminions, and sign up today. Get yourself a free 30-day trial and also a free book, which you get to keep even if you don't keep going on with your subscription.